Welcome to Lit Vibes Only, where we lit the shit out of books we love and hate. I'm Kelsey, the unhinged, diehard romantic and fantasy reader.
And I'm Amanda, the insightful thrill seeker and historical fiction nerd. We are extra excited, super thrilled, over the moon.
Yeah.
For our very first Lit Authors episode. We've got a special guest with us. We are so excited to be here. But before I get carried away, like I always do, we want to direct you to our socials. So if you have not already, make sure to head over to Instagram and find us at litvibesonly_podcast. You can also find us on YouTube and TikTok at Lit Vibes Only Podcast. So follow, comment, subscribe, all of the good things. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you're reading, what's up, what you'd like to hear from us on the podcast. And if socials are not your thing, you can also email us. So shoot us an email at litvibesonlypodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you on that platform as well. But most importantly, if you are sitting out there, especially if you've been listening to this podcast for a while and have not yet rated and reviewed us, we kindly request that you do that promptly.
Do it.
It only takes a second to hit that 5-star rating. And if you've got a little bit of extra time on your hands today, you could stick around for a minute or two and write us a full review on Apple Podcasts, or you could comment on Spotify on this episode. Let us know what you think. Say hey to our special guest today. So please and thank you. So we're really excited. We have an amazing author with us today, our very first. So welcome to Samantha Markum. Hello, welcome. We're so glad that you're here. And hi.
Sorry, am I allowed to unmute?
Yes.
Yes, you may.
We told Samantha to mute at the top of the episode. So yes, you are now out of mute jail. Welcome. We're so excited to learn more about you and this book that is getting released tomorrow. But we're going to first chat about what we're currently reading. It's what we usually do at the top of these episodes. Since you're our guest, Samantha, would you like to go first and let us know what you're getting into?
So I have to laugh so hard because at the time that we are recording this, like everybody else, I feel like in the romance community, I am reading Heated Rivalry.
Oh,
I don't know if you're watching Heated Rivalry. I had to look it up. I was like, you know this author's name, but as we discussed right before we came on and you asked who wrote Hunger Games, and I almost said Susan Elizabeth Phillips. I didn't want to do that again. So it is Rachel Reed, and it is about rival hockey players who are also in love. And so the show is now airing on HBO. I just watched the second episode today, which felt, I was kind of like, I hope my neighbors aren't home. Yeah. And it's been, I feel like, a big topic in the group chats. So I've been reading that. I was like, I finished the second episode. I was like, you gotta know what happens next.
Wait, is it like a series? Or is it...
So the book is part of a series, and then the show is also a series. The show is, and it comes out week by week. So we're getting back to our roots of
like having to wait.
Old television.
You got so spoiled.
I know.
Actually, Kelsey and I both just binged the first set of like season 5 Stranger Things episodes.
Stranger Things? Me too.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? I'm so glad because I feel like I've been waiting. My best friend has not watched yet. I keep being like, have you watched? Have you started? And she keeps being like, no, not yet, but I'm going to. I swear I'm going to. And I feel like everybody in the world is watching Stranger Things except the people that I know. Because I go into like every group chat I have. I'm like, has anybody watched this? And the answer has been no. So I'm so relieved to be here.
We're so glad you're here. We could just make this a Stranger Things episode and just do a deep dive. Get some theories out there.
Can we just, for real, the mid-season finale of that show.
So good.
It's so good.
So good.
I mean, I was like every meme you've ever seen that's just like hand over the mouth, completely in shock. Like the koala with the leaves in its mouth, like just staring. That was me.
I get so nervous when series or shows get to like the 5th, 6th, 7th season. I'm like, it's not going to be good anymore. And this show, in my opinion, and not my humble opinion, it has been consistently good. Like I'm still just as hooked.
Even if you go on Reddit, which is like historically the worst place to go to get an opinion, you can be like, what's the most boring season or what's the most boring plot line or whatever. And everybody's like, there are no boring seasons. There are a couple plot plot lines that are a little bit boring, but it like clears up real fast. Everybody's on the same page. We all love it.
Yeah, exactly. And I won't spoil anything, but I will say that one kind of controversial plot line where she goes off to like Chicago.
Yeah.
I feel like they redeemed it a bit,
I agree.
in this
I
season.
agree.
I was like, okay, I like what you
totally
did there.
agree. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna refocus.
Cool.
Okay,
What are you
Stranger Things.
watching or reading? This is what
We
we've
should
turned this
have
into.
I can go next. I'm currently reading, and this is going to be so out of order for our listeners. So, listeners, we're recording this right after our December episodes, but this isn't dropping until January. So I am just getting the end of January. So I mentioned in a previous episode that I was starting Play Nice by Rachel Harrison, which is a horror novel. And I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. And Sam, I'm like just dipping my toes into the water of horror because I love thrillers, especially psychological thrillers and suspense and mystery. And I'm like, I think there's some overlap there. So I'm like
For sure.
diving a little bit deeper into the horror side of things. I'm really loving it. I'm loving it here.
Yeah.
I can handle scary books much better than I can handle scary movies for sure.
I feel like the jump scare of a scary movie is what makes them so, and being able to see it in front of you. I'm like, I'd rather imagine what Michael Myers looks like. I don't need to see him.
I am 100% the same way. I jump and startle at everything. Whereas like this, I don't know. It doesn't have the same impact. It does make you feel it's eerie, gives you a creepy vibe. Maybe I did close my closet door last night because I'm like, it looks really dark in there. But overall, it's been great. So what are you reading, Kelsey?
The one book that did that to me, because I don't like horror and I get freaked out really easily, was The Passage by Justin Cronin.
Oh,
I was like,
which is funny because it's not, I don't think it's billed as, have you read The Passage by Sam?
I haven't.
It's
you know
so
Justin
good.
Cronin?
No, I don't.
Okay, yeah. He writes really lengthy and intense, but they are horror.
I find them scary, but I don't think you'd find them in the horror section. I would have to look.
I have a very low threshold for scary too. So if you're saying like it's scary, I would believe you. I like slept with the lights on until I was 14. I'm like fully the biggest scary cat.
I'm very much the same.
With you saying that though, Amanda, I'm curious if I would be interested. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I'll branch into horror ever.
But yeah, this was horror-ish, light-ish. We'll talk more.
So I'm currently reading a TJ Klune book, The Bones Beneath My Skin. And this is going to be also out of order because I'm pretty sure I talked about this last episode as well. So
yeah,
here we are.
Not last episode for our listeners. Last episode that we recorded.
Oh, jumbled.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
We love TJ Klune. Have you read The House in the Cerulean Sea?
As I maybe told you before we started recording, it's all the big books that I have a good friend who loves that book so much. And she maybe will listen to this and be like, I've been telling you to read it. Like, you wouldn't be embarrassing yourself if you just listened to me. But no, I have not read it. It's on my list. Like everything else, it's on my list, my very long list that I will one day get to.
What I will say though is the audiobook for that book totally enhances your experience.
Oh, really?
So the audiobook is totally where you should go.
Okay.
And maybe that
I might get to it
easier
faster
to
with the audiobook.
Yeah.
That tends to be my medium.
So
it's so good. I read the first one and then Kelsey listened to it and was like, it was amazing. So then I listened to the sequel on audiobook and I was like, oh, I get it. This is fantastic. So
one narrator does all of the voices. Oh, it's so great.
I love that.
He's wildly talented. Yeah. Such a great audiobook. 10 out of 10 recommend. Okay, well, let's like do the thing. We are so excited to get to know you a bit better and just your process as a writer, this new book that you're going to be, it's going to be on shelves literally the day after this episode drops.
Yes.
So we're just going to dive right in and start with, how are you feeling as you're gearing up for this next release?
So this book, this is the longest gap I've had between books coming out. Up until now, I've been a year, like a spring, summer. My first book was like April, then it was March, then it was June. And this is like the longest gap I've had between a book, between book releases. And I was like, we're golden. You've got so much time to get everything done. You're not going to feel rushed. All your promo is going to be done. Like you're going to do it months in advance. And here we are, December, and I'm like, I feel like the Minions in Despicable Me, when they're all running in different directions, running into each other, I feel like that's everything going on in my brain. It's very overwhelming. It really is the thing of, I feel like when you feel you have more time, you put everything off even more.
Yep.
Because I feel a little stressed, but I'm very excited. I'm really excited that it's done. I think the process of writing it was also very different from any other book I've written. And being able to be like, it's done. You can't touch it anymore. Like, you've done everything. You've tweaked every little tiny word that you wanted to tweak, and you are now finished. Feels very nice. So
I can just imagine. I've never written a book, so I can only imagine the sense of just like fulfillment and also peace that comes when you're like, yep, I've dotted the last I, crossed the last T, hands off.
When I finished those past pages, I was like, ooh, baby, we are celebrating. I don't even remember what I did. I just blackout celebrated. Probably online shopping. That's usually my go-to.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah. With that being said, can you tell us a little bit about your writing journey and where it started? What kept you going?
Yes.
Maybe how many books you've written?
Yes. This is my fourth book. I started writing when I was about 11, like 6th grade was when I got really serious. I did write some Mary-Kate and Ashley mystery like knockoffs.
Oh, fun.
When I was very young, I remember penning those in my grandparents' computer room, if that tells you how old I am. They had a room for the computer.
Same.
Yeah. But that kind of fizzled out. And then I really found my spark. So I'm a younger cousin of many cousins. I don't have siblings. I've just got lots of cousins that feel like siblings. And one of my older cousins, when I was with her, made me watch the like 1993 cult classic Christian Bale doing a New York accent, Newsies.
Newsies.
Not the cool Broadway version, but the kind of dorky.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Version,
Love it.
Kenny Ortega in his, in his genius.
Beautiful.
And immediately it altered my brain chemistry. My mom will tell you, it would be like movie night. We'd be like, we're going to watch a movie. What do you want to watch? And I'd be like, we're going to watch Newsies. And she'd be like, we have to watch another movie. We cannot. The VHS is like, as you rewind it. She was like, we can't keep doing this. I was so obsessed. I went to a really small Catholic school. So my friends and I, did you?
Sure did.
So you get it.
I do.
So my best friends and I, if we were in the same class, we were usually like you went to all your classes together. Yeah. And so I would write my Newsies fan fiction, and then we had a shared notebook. I made them write with me. My friends who were not writers, to this day are still not, they would tell you we were not writers, but we all wrote my fan fiction vision together collaboratively. And that was my start. And that really went on for 3 years. That was like all of middle school. It was all Newsies all the time. I was writing fan fiction before I knew what fan fiction was, because I wasn't really like on the internet yet. Yeah. And then I got on the internet at 12 or 13, getting absolutely on fanfic.net, writing all of my Newsies fanfic, not about Jack Kelly or like any of the main characters. No, it was about like extra number 4 in the background with the buck teeth. I loved him. I was like, you've got a story to tell. The one that's like sucking his thumb in the beginning, I was like, you've got trauma and we are going to unpack it. And I'm in middle school.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I was 12 getting flamed on the internet by like grad students who were like, you don't have any idea what you're writing. And I think that really prepared me for the publishing industry.
I bet it did. It's brutal.
Forged in fire, forged in the flames of the comment section on fanfic.net.
Wow. It's funny because Kelsey and I technically have a shared Newsies memory, because your school did Newsies like 2 years ago, I think it was. And so we went and saw her middle schoolers do it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It was
I'm an assistant principal at a middle school. And so we went
You're so brave. You're so strong.
We went to their production.
It was
1 year.
The cutest thing ever.
I
wanted to belt along with all of the songs. I knew, that version of Newsies, the 93, like VH, like that, my jam. Like, loved it so much.
Arguably the Broadway version, not to go down the rabbit hole of Newsies, which I could do pretty much any day, but the Broadway version is arguably like a better story. Sure. But there's just something charming about whatever's going on in that film version. Yeah.
Special place in my heart. So then did you go on to get your degree in writing, or did you kind of just jump right into...
I did, weirdly enough. So I wrote fan fiction all through high school. I actually wrote, I guess what we call it is real people fiction, but I wrote about fans. So I was living in South Florida at the time, which like I feel like was one of the hubs of the emo music
Oh, okay.
revolution. And we got deep into it. So it all started with my Panic at the Disco, Ryan Ross fan fiction. I can't believe I just admitted that out loud with my own mouth.
Exclusively on this podcast.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So that's where that started. So I kept going. I wrote like fan fiction through college. So I went into college being like, I don't know what I want to do. And I went to a really big school. So like I had a lot of options of majors. It wasn't like, oh, we only do these 6 things. It was like, you could really do anything. And so I started with, I was undecided, and then I wanted to do education. And then I got it in my head that I wanted to be the president's speechwriter, probably because I saw too many episodes of The West Wing as a child. And I was like, okay, I want to be Sam Seaborn. Yeah. So I was like, I'll do political science. And then I went to go switch it again. I think I switched my major 4 times. My mom was finally like, we're calling again. My mom was like putting her foot down. She was like, we're not watching Newsies again, and you're not changing your major one more time. And she was like, why don't you just make your major what your minor has been through all of these changes? And I was like, oh, I didn't know I was allowed to do that. I thought I had to do something practical. But my mom is not. It'll be hard to believe when reading the roommate arrangement, but my mom is actually nothing like Blair's parents. She is extremely like such a hippie. Follow your heart. Do what your heart tells you.
Love
like
it.
She's not practical is not in her.
I
her
love
little
that.
lexicon.
Yeah.
So she told me to change my major, and I did creative writing.
That's fantastic.
Great.
I kept creative writing as my minor. I never switched it to my major, but I loved it. I ended up majoring in theater, and then creative writing was my minor.
That's cool though.
But very much enjoyed all of my creative writing classes. So that's awesome that your mom was like, go for it. Because I was originally an English major, and then I switched to theater, and my mom was like, what are you going to do with a theater major? At least with English, you can teach. And I'm like, I will never teach. I would never want to be a teacher. And now I've been a teacher for 13 years.
Amazing.
But I'm going back a little bit. So we talked about your writing background, but what were some of the books that you read as a young person that really influenced your writing and your writing style?
Young adult had just gotten big when I was in high school. And the first young adult book I remember reading was The Truth About Forever by Sarah Dessen, which is like still my favorite book to this day. I have had multiple copies. The copy that I read, I actually borrowed from a friend in high school. Loved it so much. I was like, can I borrow it again? Never gave it back. So I did the big bad of borrowing and stealing a book from my friend. I owe her big time. And then I think after that, I read like some of Maureen Johnson's older books, like 13 Little Blue Envelopes. And she has this like older series about a girl who lives in a hotel called Sweet Scarlet. Loved that. Okay. I also, I guess like in late high school, early college is when Anna and the French Kiss came out, which is Stephanie Perkins. And then I was really into fantasy when I was younger. And one of the big like pretty much she's the girl, Holly Black. I read Tithe by Holly Black was like one of my first big influences. She does it all. She can do no wrong.
I did not read a lot of fantasy. I'm like, I've never heard of Holly Black.
My gosh.
Yeah, this is now I'm like, I haven't read this.
She is amazing. Tithe is about this girl. It takes place in New Jersey, so it's gritty and like it was so different from anything else I was reading. And the main character is Kay, and she was so different from any character I was reading. She like imprinted on my brain at one point. I don't know if it's Halloween or what, but she wears the skin tight catsuit outfit, like costume. And I was like, this is amazing. She's so cool. She's so cool. But she meets a fairy. She like saves a fairy. And then as payment, he's like, what can I give you to like repay you for saving my life? And she's like, just tell me your name. But of course, having a fairy's name means that you can basically control them. So that's how it all starts. She meets this fairy and learns his name and then has complete control over him.
Is it an urban fantasy since it's in New Jersey, or do they travel to
I think her earlier books definitely are urban fantasy, because that one I think takes place half in our world and half in the fairy world. But the fairy world is also like very different, very dark. because there are all of these different courts, which then she like gets into. Because have you heard of The Cruel Prince? That's probably her biggest book, like her most popular. Okay, so The Cruel Prince also takes place in this world, and as she's gone through all these books, all of her fairy books are like connected, and they're all these different courts.
Okay.
And so like this court that she's in is one of the underground courts. So it's very good. If this could be the start of your Holly Black journey, I actually got to see her. I went to her event for her most recent. She has an adult series out now, and for the second one, she came here, and I got to go see her talk, and I was like. She's so cool. She's just so cool.
All right. Anyway. I will have to, because I am expanding my tastes into the fantasy genre. So should I start with Tithe?
I would start with Tithe. I think it's so good. I think it's so good. And she also, if you're into vampires at all, one of my favorites is The Coldest Girl in Cold Town. It's not one of her fairy books, but it's about a girl who like gets entangled basically with vampires. Her ex-boyfriend gets bitten by one, and so he like goes cold, so they have to take him to a cold town to see if he's going to turn into a vampire.
Oh.
So basically once you go cold, you either drink I think it's you drink vampire blood and you become a vampire, or you can detox out the virus.
Interesting. Okay, so it's not like a death sentence, essentially. Death sentence, quote unquote.
But then the Cold Town is also it's kind of like a big reality show. I don't know. They're like celebrities. There's like the vampires are celebrities. Yeah, it's
this. Really I feel like there's been a lot of vampire books and a lot of vampire lore, and this sounds like a fun twist on it. I'm like,
it is I'm really intrigued. Fun. It's very fun. Yeah,
it's not like Twilight because she hated Twilight.
I understand. I read Twilight, I think, when it came out.
Yeah.
I actually, my first year, my college roommate, the only thing I knew about her going into college was that she loved Twilight. And so I was like, all right, I guess I'll read it so we have something to talk about. And then I read it and I was like, forget you. I don't even need to talk to you. I just need these books. I don't even need to speak to you about them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's if I had read them when I was younger, like when they came out, I might have felt differently about them. But I read the book for the first time for this podcast when we started it like a year and a half ago, and I was like,
they certainly I'm sure don't hold up.
They do not. They really don't.
But they were such a moment in time.
Funny. They sure
were.
Yes,
they have their place. They have their place.
Yes, time and place.
Since you've already written a handful of YA titles, we're curious, how do you feel like your voice has evolved since your debut, which was This May End Badly?
That's a good question. I feel like, I don't know if my voice has changed as much as like my process. This May End Badly, I wrote in basically 3 months, super fast, completely linear. I took almost nothing out. I took out one scene in the whole thing. Everything like just came together. And I feel like it was just do I want to write it? That's what I'm writing. And I think that for my first probably 3 books, that is just what I did. You Wouldn't Dare was a little different because I did have to rewrite the whole thing. I had written the wrong love interest, which actually was like my MO for my first 2 books was like This May End Badly. I wrote the wrong love interest. I started writing it. It was about 3. And then by the second chapter, when you meet Wells for the first time, I was like, oh, who's this? Like, who's this guy that I've just written in? And then for my second book, I wrote the whole thing with one love interest, turned it in, and my editor was like, I don't think this is right. And I was like, I don't think this is right either. And so I went back and changed the love interest. It was a character that was already in it. And so by my third one, I was like, okay, we're going to rolling up my sleeves. Right. I was like, we're going to get this right. We absolutely have to, because I wrote that entire book around 3. So I was like, you actually can't you can't have the wrong love interest this time, because this is his book. And if you try to change it, I don't know, he might manifest and just strangle you in your sleep. So that one, I think I started to get a little bit more intentional about my writing with that one. I think I went in with a lot of ideas of what I wanted to do. With my first 2 books, it was kind of like, let the story speak to you. And then by the third one, I was like, okay, I'm speaking to the story now. The story, I'm in charge, which is about how it feels half the time, is like I'm in charge. And the rest of the time, it's like, I don't know what's going on. Everyone's running wild. But I had a few things that I like really wanted to tackle. And then coming out of that, going into my 4th book, it was more of like, okay, now I have a lot of stuff that I want to tackle. There were a lot of things that I feel like, especially writing about. So I guess I should say what this book is about. So The Roommate Arrangement is about a girl named Blair who gets dropped by her best friends and their housing arrangement, like 2 weeks before they're supposed to leave for school. They're all doing summer session. I went to school that did summer session. I didn't know a lot of schools don't do that.
Yeah.
My school,
they don't?
So it's a fictionalized version of my school as well, which a reader clocked, which I thought was hilarious. She's going for a summer program and her friends are going for summer session, and they were all supposed to live together. Her best friends drop her. They're like, you're too much. You're going to be hard to live with, but we'll still stay friends. And so she has to scramble to find a new place to live. And she answers this desperate roommate ad. She's desperate. They're desperate. She goes to move in and realizes one of the 4 people that live in this apartment is her brother's best friend. And her brother are not besties. They are not, they don't get along. No, they do not get along. Her brother, I would say, is maybe like the main antagonist of this book. At least,
besides her mom.
In part. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Her like mom and her stepdad.
Yeah. Her mom and her stepdad. And so going into it, I think I really had a lot of things that I wanted Blair to deal with. One of them being I'd written in my first book, like I have this core friend group. And in my second book, I have this core friend group, like these very good, very close. My first one was like they go to boarding school together. They're like sisters. My second one was like they've all grown up together. They're like this really good, tight-knit friend group. And then in my third book, I was like, I actually don't want her to have any friends. I want her to be at school, like totally adrift, trying to find friends. And then to find them along the way, which is what she does. And then in my fourth book, I was like, okay, so we've done all this. What about she has no friends because her friends just dropped her? Like her best friends don't like her anymore. Especially because going into college, I feel like that is something that happens to a lot of people. Totally. You don't go to the same school, you lose touch, you have fights. And so I was like, okay, this feels like a really volatile moment in your life. Like, let's just throw her into the hardest situation you can get thrown into. So I really wanted to tackle that more than anything, that feeling of being very adrift. But then, of course, Blair has all kinds of other issues.
Oh my gosh.
She is issued up. I was like, if I had a thought, I was like, she's going to have that problem for sure. For sure.
I was thinking, because I've read the book and I was thinking about this prior to doing this interview and chatting with you. And for folks who've listened to the podcast for a while, you'll know that I love very human, messy characters. I like gritty human experiences. And I'm not a big romance reader. Pretty much all the romance books I've read have been because of Kelsey and because of this podcast. But I tend to like romance books that are less light and fluffy and like dessert, and that actually have some hard hitting topics in there. And I feel like this book does. It dives into so many things, whether it's like dysfunctional families or like friendship breakups or body image or like mental health struggles, being a woman in a man's world in terms of being in a computer programming program, right? And feeling so out of place. And I just had to say, I really appreciated that about this book. For me personally, like that's something I really look for in a novel. And I was like, yes, I love this.
Thank you. I also look for that in a novel. I feel like you were speaking straight. Right. It was like you were taking the words out of my brain. They were coming out of my mouth.
What book is that?
I love books. I love messy characters. I would say most of my characters, especially in my first 2 books, are extremely messy. And a lot of them are making problems on their own. They're making the problems and they're having to solve the problems, which I find very fun. Even when I was reading fanfic, it was like, here are your tags. And it was like, if it said fluff, I was like, we're out. We're done. I don't need fluff. I don't want cotton candy. Like, I want to feel something.
Same.
So, that was definitely, I think, my goal with this too. So I really appreciate it. That makes me feel, I feel like I really accomplished it.
You accomplished the thing that you set out to do. Absolutely.
So what sparked the idea for this story? Did a personal experience or observation like inspire it?
So this is actually really funny, and I don't know how she'll feel about me sharing this, but I am going to have to share it. This was actually inspired by someone I know. I won't name names. I did say I have a lot of cousins, and I am one of the youngest, but I'm not the youngest. And I had a cousin who was in college and going through, I wouldn't call it a friend breakup, but I would say some friend strain. And she lived with her best friends, and then some stuff happened. And as it was all happening, I was like, it's so stressful. And like for the adults in her life talking to her, and she's in college, she's an adult, but she's experiencing all of this for the first time. And so it was like, I could see like how much it was affecting her and like how it was like the only thing that she could think about and the only thing that she could talk about. And I was like, man, this is like so interesting how this like one thing that's going on, which is like just where she lives, is so deeply affecting every part of her life.
Yeah.
And I feel like when your housing situation especially is so all over the place, it sends everything all over the place. And so I felt like, well, that's a really good place to start a story, which she ended up moving out of that house. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting how that affects. It just really, I think, sparked something where I was like, okay, so if this is where we start the story of like, where things change, like how does that affect every other part of your life? And I feel with Blair's friends dropping her and it puts her in this like place of big time stress, I feel like it sets off all of these chain reactions in her life.
It does. And I think too, like my girlfriends and I have talked about this, how like in our lives, if you have a romantic breakup, it's like a big deal. Everybody rallies. It's like a whole thing. But friend breakups are just as painful, if not more. And as a culture, we don't really rally in the same way to help someone navigate that. And so
people just think it's like drama.
Yeah, exactly. It's
more
like, it was
so
just a
than-
friend. And I'm like, sometimes friend relations have gone on longer than romantic relationships. You've known them maybe since childhood. Like you've been vulnerable with them in all of these ways. And it always surprises me that it doesn't have the same kind of weight to it and the way that we like deal with it, respond to it, handle it. And so I really love that because especially in a romantic novel, you're expecting the heartbreak to come from a romantic interest, right? Or like a failed relationship. And I'm like, no, actually it's a failed friendship, like and multiple in this situation. So I loved that you added that in there.
Still, like I am about 30% of the way through, Sam, and I hate those girls so much.
That is like all of my friends that read it early, I would get texts being like, they suck so much. And I was like,
what is their problem? Yeah. And I get triggered by it while reading it. I was like, ew. Ugh.
I was particularly triggered by it because I'm like Blair, like I am a neat freak, like I am the mom, and I'm like, oh, how rude! Like
I know, me too.
How dare you?
Yeah,
it's so fun,
my gosh, yeah. Do you feel like, I know I already mentioned a couple of them a moment ago, but what themes do you feel like you explore in this story? We have some examples, so like identity, change, independence, coming of age, which I think honestly all of those things are
definitely all of those things. I think that it's a lot of, it feels like a late coming of age. It feels like a second coming of age.
Yeah.
Because when I think of coming of age, I always think of 13, 14, like figuring out who you are. And I feel like this is more of coming of age as an adult, kind of figuring out how to be an adult. I think that especially for this one, Blair is thrust into that a little bit earlier, having to figure all that stuff out. But yeah, I would definitely say change, coming of age. And there is some body image stuff. I think that my third book definitely had more body image issues that she was working through. I think Blair has them, but I wanted to write a character who was just like giving fat phobia the middle finger all the time.
Yeah.
Which I think is very Blair, of being like, I'm just not going to pay attention to that. I'm just not going to do that. Right. She is like a little stubborn, a little hard-headed. Yeah, I feel like those are the biggest ones. It's hard to think of themes. So much of it is about Blair's journey.
Yeah.
And it makes it sound like there isn't a romance, but I will say I think Jamie's a pretty big part of most of what she goes through.
Yeah. And part of that transformation that happens, that growth that happens. Because I actually think, yes, there is kind of that first coming of age when you are 13, 14, but going to college is a huge transformation and transformational period. So yeah, it totally is like a second coming of age. I actually really like that.
Especially with Blair's parents being so involved as they were for her. Yeah. She's just like trying to handle everything on her own. Hide all the things
and trying to make sure that her parents don't find out. That's her big thing. And I love writing a character. I love writing liars. I don't know what it is about. People who lie are so fun to me because I'm like, you are creating a house of cards, and then I'm just sitting over here like blowing it out one card by one card and then watching you panic. And it's so fun. Like in my first book, Jo is a big liar. She lies about everything. That whole book is lies. She started from the very beginning. Fake dating is just one big lie. And so I love to write a character who lies about stuff and then has to keep it all together and keep it all straight, especially a character like Blair, who up until this point has not been a liar. She's just a good little girl. She does what she's supposed to do. She listens to her parents. Like, she's home by curfew. She's taking her allergy meds. So I think it was really fun. Yeah, making sure she's not eating walnuts or peanuts or any other kind of nut that might be around. Yeah, so taking her and throwing her into this to make her lie to everyone about everything was really fun because she's very stressed.
And it's so fun as a reader because it creates like this delicious tension the entire time because you know that House of Cards is going to come crashing down and you're just like, oh my gosh, when is it going to happen? Oh my God, this is going to be such a disaster.
And that's what I want. I want you sitting there being like sweating and fanning yourself, being like, oh my God.
And you feel so bad for her because she's lying technically like for the right reasons. Like she has good intentions. And you're just like, oh God, Blair.
Yeah.
Someone help this girl.
Stop.
Someone help this girl. Literally.
Oh man.
I'm wondering, since you love writing liars, what is one of your favorite scenes that you wrote in this book specifically, without any spoilers?
Without any spoilers.
The best of
I
your
will say the scene. Oh, without any spoilers. All I'll say is it has to do with her brother. Okay. I feel like every time I wrote Sawyer, to me was like a scene stealer. He was very much every time he was on the page, I was like, damn, am I gonna have to write a book about this guy? I was like, am I gonna be thinking about him 8 months from now, being like, wonder what he's up to? I loved Sawyer so much. Because I love anyone who antagonizes. I think that they're really fun. I love a character who's gonna make a situation worse. And he's never making a situation better. And so I will say, without any spoilers, there is a scene with him. And you know what? I think that's kind of like where I have to. I think that to keep it from being spoilery, that's where I have to stop. Yeah. Okay. So I'll give a second one. That's probably my first favorite. My second favorite is there is a scene where Blair accidentally answers a FaceTime from her mom.
Yes.
While everyone is over for D&D night, and her mom hears them in the background, and she has to on the fly get everyone from the D&D group now to be in on her lie. And then, of course, Jamie walks in the middle of it, being like, what the hell? Yeah. Why is this random guy that plays D&D with my roommate on the phone with your mother?
That was an excellent scene. It's funny because I feel like it takes a lot for me to laugh out loud, like full belly laugh when I'm reading a book, or maybe just in general. And the one scene, I don't think this is a spoiler either, where her allergies are like going crazy and she's got like tissues or tampons, something stuffed up her nose.
Oh yeah, tissues.
And like, I laughed out loud during that entire scene. I don't know what it was. Could not keep it together. Thought it was hilarious. Yeah. And what was happening?
So
she was like, it was great. It was
when
so great.
When she sneezes it out, it goes into the candle. Yeah. Yeah. I also love that scene.
It was great. I appreciated it so much.
Thank you. I think all the scenes with the roommates were a lot of fun. The roommates in the D&D group were a lot of fun. I do love them. I love a group. I have a big family, so I think that like when I get a bunch of people in a room talking at the same time, it just feels like I'm at family dinner. I'm like, okay, here's my aunt, and here's my aunt, and here's my aunt. Yeah.
And I feel like you did such a great job of one, she does have like this beautiful, like newfound family, found family. And I feel like all of the characters felt so well developed. Like I think sometimes in novels, you have this cast of characters that can come across as like really two-dimensional outside of the main protagonist, FMC and MMC. And I was like, oh no, you're all like real people. Where you all have depth, and like I wanted to hang out with them. I was like, I just want to chill in this house with y'all. Like,
I love them so much. I'm so glad. I work really hard on my background characters too, because I feel the same way. I think that especially in romance, I think a lot of times they are just like flat. And to me, I'm like, these are my friends that I'm coming to visit in this book. So.
Absolutely. And they all have their own lives, their own love interests, their own struggles, and just like beautiful seeing it all come together.
Love that.
This book is coming out tomorrow for the roommate arrangement.
Gosh, I keep forgetting.
Yeah, I know. It's weird doing a podcast because we're always bouncing around in time and we're always like, wait, when is this coming out? What is the multiverse or something? We've already talked a little bit about how this launch compares to some of your previous ones and maybe scrambling at the end.
Yeah.
But I am curious, as you're getting ready to put this new book out into the world and have a new group of readers interact with your text, with your writing, how has interacting with readers influenced your writing over time, or has it at all?
Oh, it definitely has. I think a lot about the things that people say they loved in my other books or the things they say they hated, which of course there's always something. Usually the main character, which I'm like, all right, I can't do anything about that. But I feel like it does make me very conscious about, am I writing something that people are going to want to read? Especially the more books you write, the more you have a brand or like people start to expect something from you. And then you're like, am I going to deliver? Can I deliver it? Is this what they want? Especially when you're writing books that are so different from each other, because my first book and my second book are so different from each other. And obviously my first book and my third book are really similar. They're companions, but then the roommate arrangement's totally different, totally different.
Right.
Like, they're both college romances, but that's about where it ends. So I think that it's like writing something that doesn't feel stale and like I'm writing it just the same thing over and over again, which is something I run into even now, like working on my next project. I'm like, I think that might be too similar. And everyone's like, you got to stop getting down into the details and going, I think this is too similar because it's this one tiny little grain of detail that's like something that you wrote for your last book. So yeah, I think that it makes me way more conscious for sure. And definitely like more trying to please the people that like what I write by continuing to write what they like.
That makes sense. You want people coming back for more.
Exactly.
Each time you write something. Yeah.
I don't want the person who's been like, I loved your first 4 books, but then that 5th one, man, that was weird. I didn't like it.
Absolute mess.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's more of your style rather than the story that they're interested in.
That is what I'm hoping.
Hopefully it comes through. It's a through line.
Yeah.
And thinking about that too, about the publishing world in general, was there anything that surprised you about the publishing world as you started like working?
Oh, everything. There hasn't been one thing. So after I wrote my second book, between my second and my third, I went to an event and it was like an adult romance author. And she was like, oh, I really want to talk to you actually, because I'm thinking about writing a YA. And I was like, oh, I don't know anything about that. I don't know. And she was like, so I want to know like what you're publishing, like what publishing has been like. And I was like, I don't. And she was like, you've written 2 YA novels. And I was like, yeah, like theoretically, I should know what to expect, but everything is a surprise. And it's different too from publisher to publisher. It's different just between editors and publishing houses. Wow. I feel like learning that people that were at my same publishing house but had a different editor were having like a different experience than I was like. I was like, oh, I didn't know that it could be like that here because this is what I've been experiencing. So yeah, I think everything has just been surprising. There's never been a time where I feel totally like I know what's going on in publishing. I think that's why it's very important that my agent is so great. She knows so much because so many times I have to be like, hey, bestie, what does that mean? What is that? Even like the stuff that I should know about, I'm like, oh God, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know how much of it is me just not committing stuff to memory and how much of it is just publishing is always, I feel like constantly changing.
Yeah.
And especially even just the turnover within publishing, like editors leaving and coming and going, and like people on their teams coming and going, assistants coming and going, everything can be very specific to the person. Yeah. So lots of different I've learned so much and yet I'm still surprised all the time.
I can just imagine. Have you been with the same publisher for all of your books or have you
No, I was with St. Martin's Press. I was with Wednesday Books for my first 2. And then I'm with Margaret K. McElderry now for my second 2. So my companion novels are not even with the same publisher. My
that's
first
wild.
is with Wednesday. My third is with McElderry. Yeah, it's even just like between those 2, just like a different experience. But and there's always like positives and negatives with both. So one thing I think I've learned from knowing people in all of the different houses and all the different imprints is I'm like, oh, it's different, but we're all having the same experience.
Sure. So, that tracks.
Yeah.
And like, how much work do you have to do to promote your books?
A lot, and probably more than I'm doing. I probably should be doing more than I'm doing. But yeah, it's hard to say. Could they say you need to be doing this? You need to be on TikTok. You need to be making TikToks every day. You need to be making reels every day. Like video content is so important. And you need to be like posting this many times a week. But then you'll talk to people and they're like, that doesn't matter. None of that matters. God. It doesn't move the needle. You can't do anything yourself. So I think the general rule is do as much as you want. And then that's what you do. I know I think some people's publishers push them to post more, promote it more.
Yeah.
My publisher lets me do whatever I want.
That's nice.
That's kind of nice. Yeah. I mean, they'll be like, hey, post this today, which is good. But yeah, it's more of just do as much as you want, like as often as you want. And hopefully that comes across as like more authentic than just me being like, hey, I'm back on my TikTok.
Please read this book.
The thing that no one asked for here. Yeah, please read this book. You remember me? Yeah.
It's nice that you have that flexibility to do what feels good for you and what feels, like you said, what feels authentic.
And I do think there is such a thing as hurting yourself with your promotion for sure. Because I'm like, I feel as though maybe if I were on TikTok all the time, I wouldn't be doing myself any kind of service.
Yeah.
So
it's like I'm on TikTok instead of writing.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple of questions ago, very briefly, about your next project. And I'm just like curious. Yeah. What is next? Can you like tease any upcoming stories or ideas that you're like exploring or sussing out?
I don't know how much I can say.
Sure.
I'll describe the main characters, which like right now in their current iteration, which is very early, it's like Elle Woods meets some kind of like strange fairy prince alien boy who is unlike any other person she's ever met.
So very different.
Yeah, he is, but it's contemporary. He's just a weirdo.
I love it. Love a good weirdo.
Yeah, very much a weirdo. I love a weirdo. I love a character who is like, never let him know your next move, and that is 100% him. Sometimes I'm like, what are we doing? Yeah. So
that sounds intriguing.
Fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's tough, but it's fun.
Yeah, it sounds like
I'm getting into my era of writing a lot of stuff that I don't know a ton about, so I have to do a lot of research.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So
because I feel like probably for the roommate arrangement, you probably didn't have to do a considerable amount of research.
No, I had to do some computer science.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Stuff. And Blair does sculpting, so it was a lot of like research on different styles and sculptors. And I learned a lot about clay and how it's made and what you do with it. I was listening to a lot of podcasts about clay.
So interesting.
And it's so much stuff that doesn't make it in, but it's like the tiniest detail of just being like, yeah, of course Dion had to wear a mask while she was cleaning up clay. Yeah, because otherwise, So there's a lot of that. And then the computer science stuff, which was half me researching and watching YouTube videos and half my very good friend who majored in computer science. He does.
Oh, nice.
He does, as we like to say, computer science-y stuff.
Okay.
He went to grad school and got his master's in computer stuff.
Yep.
And I would be like, hey, does this sound right? And then he'd go into some long explanation. I'd be like, no.
Yes or no.
Short version. Yeah. It's a yes or no question.
For us non-computer stuff folks.
Yeah. It was a lot of that. And again, the computer science stuff that like is so, it's like such a big part of Blair's life, but like the details of it are so minimal.
Yeah.
But I was like, God, we better get it right.
It does make a huge difference for that believability factor and for that one person out there who is actually like a computer programmer. Wait a minute, this doesn't track.
I'm sure there's something in there. I can feel it in my bones, but
hopefully they're like, hopefully they're so taken by the rest of the story. It's not even a big deal.
They're
it's
like,
not even important.
Whatever that was. Yeah.
That was
hand wavy stuff.
Thinking about this dropping and it reaching some of our listeners who aren't familiar with your work, which book would you suggest they start with and why?
Oh, that's so hard.
Or does it matter?
All your babies.
It depends on your mood. Yeah. And I don't think it matters. I think a lot of times in the winter, I like to recommend You Wouldn't Dare because it's a summer book. And I feel like if you live somewhere where it is not summer and you're just like dying for the beach, I feel like it feels like a summer vacation.
Nice.
And then
That's
with
fair.
This Man Badly and Love Off the Record, they are both school books. They take place during the actual school year. And I feel like this is, of course, a good time to read them, especially if you're like in school and you're like over it. It's a good way to romanticize school again. Oh, this could be fun if it was the way it happens in a book. And with those, I actually don't think that you have to read them in a certain order. This Man Badly definitely comes first, like in chronological order. That one is first. It was written first, takes place first. But I think Love Off the Record, if you read it first and then you get to go back and read This Man Badly with 3 as the antagonist at his worst, like even worse than he is in Love Off the Record, which is you thought he couldn't get worse. He can. I think that's also very fun. And I love to read companion novels out of order. Like I read historicals a lot, like historical romance. And like I read the Bridgerton series. I think I read the last one first.
Oh,
that was like one of the first ones I read.
Yeah.
I read that one. I think I read that one first, and then it was like, and then I think I read 2, 3, and 4, and then I went back and read 1, and then I read 5, and it was
my gosh.
yeah, I don't believe in reading in order. I think
breaking all the rules. I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess if you're listening to this right now and you need a book to read like tomorrow, you could start with The Roommate Arrangement.
Start with I mean, I can highly recommend it.
Thank you.
Definitely. Okay, let's do a couple of like quick fun wrap up questions, and then we'll have you share like your socials where folks can connect with you, all of that good stuff at the end. So since this book, The Roommate Arrangement, is all about roommates or the lack of them or new ones, if you could have any fictional character as a roommate, who would it be and why?
Such a good question.
I know now I'm thinking about what I
Can I pick 2? I feel since we started this talking about Stranger Things, I want to live with Steve and Robin.
Oh my
God. I just want them. I mean, if I had to pick one, I'd pick Robin because I feel like,
Robin's a hoot.
What a positive influence. But I think Steve and Robin would be endless inspiration for sure.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Exactly. I think they're the best.
That's a great response and just so on theme for the fact that the new episodes just dropped.
I'm counting down the days. I'm counting down the days to the next one.
It's funny because the next 2 are on Christmas Day and the last one is on like New Year's, right?
New
Year's Eve. It's on 30th or 31st.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that.
I wonder why they chose those days though.
I know. I told my family, I was like, I hope you're all ready Christmas Day to have a family viewing of Stranger Things.
That's what's going to be happening.
That's all we're doing today.
Don't want to talk to you until it's finished. Thank you.
Literally.
Next question. Outside of writing, how do you like to unwind?
I love to unwind. I am a couch person. I love to rot on the couch. I love to watch TV. I'm very into K-dramas. I think a K-drama is perfect for me because I love to have to read the subtitles so that I can't do anything else. Like I have to be in the story.
Fair. Yeah.
And so I find that very immersive. And then I do play a lot of video games. So right now I'm playing Pokemon Legends ZA. So
fun. Love a gamer girl.
On a mission to catch all the different types of Eevee, get all the Eevee evolutions. And of course, I love Animal Crossing. I'm excited for
I've heard so much about that. I've heard so much. I've never played it, but goodness.
I was like a COVID gamer. Like I played games when I was younger. Like I played like Spyro and like Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot, yeah. God,
I played like the old Zeldas on the Nintendos. We had the cartridge, blow into it when it didn't work. Now I play Zelda on the Switch. But I really rediscovered gaming during COVID. I was one of the COVID Nintendo Switch people, and it really
a lot of people were.
I love it. I love a video game. And then obviously reading. And I love to read webtoons. I have a lot of webtoons.
Oh, interesting.
I'm reading right now. There was one called Seasons of Blossom, which was like 4 seasons, and it follows all these different characters. And it was a little darker. The first one's like more of a rom-com, and then it gets like progressively darker.
Oh, interesting.
Where everybody's very traumatized. And then the authors like brought it back as Seasons of Lovesome. And now they all they all hang out at this one cafe together, and it's like very lighthearted. Everyone's in college or like working now. And so it's like all of your trauma's been healed, and now you get to have all of this like full circle. It's very, I love it. So that's what I look forward to every Wednesday. Seasons of Lovesome. I read that. I read The Kiss Bet. I've read a lot of other ones, a lot of that have finished. Morgana and Inez. Yeah.
Wow. I've never gotten into webtoons, but like now maybe I should because
you should. They'll suck you in.
It sounds like it. Okay. What's one piece of advice you'd give to either your younger writing self or to perhaps other aspiring artists or authors who are artists, let's be honest, out there?
I think the number one thing is to keep going. I think there's so much rejection in publishing. There's rejection before you even get to publishing. There's the mentor programs and different like contests and things like that you'll do as you're like coming up. And even just the tougher critiques of your writing, such as getting flamed in the comment section of fanfiction.net. Don't let it discourage you.
As a child.
Because, as a child, I feel like just keep writing the thing that you want to write. I think so many of us are like, what do people want to read now? We're always trying to write the thing that is popular now. And I think that the important thing is to write the thing that you want to read, because the thing that's popular now probably won't be popular forever, for very long. And so if you're writing the thing that you want to read, chances are someone else is going to want to read that. And I think especially looking at a lot of the indie books that have gotten big, you would never guess that there was an audience for something like that. Like Ice Planet Barbarians.
Oh, yeah.
Who saw that coming? No one saw that coming. So I'm like, so someone out there right now is writing something. They're writing the next Ice Planet Barbarians. And they have been rejected by every agent and every publisher. And it's like, buddy, you've got it. You just, as my mom once famously told me when I was changing my major 5 times, follow your heart. Do the thing you
Great
want
advice.
to do.
Yes. Solid advice at any time, honestly. And also, if you're writing what everyone else is writing, the competition is so much stiffer too, because it's like you're all just putting out the same thing to the same publishers, the same agents. And it's like, okay, we've seen this a million times. Like, it's so derivative.
Exactly. Yeah. And it feels so formulaic when you are trying to write something that you don't care about. I feel like when you really love what you're writing, people can feel it.
Yeah. So
totally.
true.
Yes.
So
love that advice. The next section we're going to get into is our final section, where we're going to go through some of the books that we have covered on the podcast and ask you whether or not they are lit-its or quit-its. Okay, it's like a rapid fire. So Amanda, do you want to start the first one and then we can go back and forth?
Especially because this one was actually, the first one was I think it was a soft lit it for me, or soft quit it. Anyhow, okay, first book is ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, lit it or quit it.
It's a lit quit for me. I would say it is a quit lit quit if we get into, don't say that one too fast. That might be
It's a quillet. It's a quillet.
Yeah, a quillet. I would say there's so much about it that hits and so much about it that that quits.
Yeah, I was right there with you, stuck in the middle.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, lit it or quit it.
Yes. Oh God. Okay, don't listen to our episode on that because I completely ripped that book a new one.
Oh, that's fine. I have no feelings about the books. If I love a book and someone else hates it, I'm like, that's
cool.
It's your
We're
prerogative.
not going to fight about it. There are so many other things to fight about.
So true. Okay, next up, Twilight by Stephanie Myers.
That's a lit it. The ancient text.
I love that you call it ancient text.
It is at this point, which is so sad because we're so old.
I honestly.
Okay. Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry.
I would say a quillet. A lit. I was so in for so much of it. Yeah. And I was mostly in. I'll say it was a soft lit.
A soft lit it. Okay.
It wasn't my favorite, and I'm an Emily Henry, super fan, like so many. I feel she can do no wrong. Better than most books. We'll just say that. Yeah.
I also liked the fact that both your protagonist in the room arrangement and the female protagonist in Great Big Beautiful Life are tall. Because as a tall person, I'm like, none of these female protagonists in these romances are ever
tiny.
Tall. They're all just like these tiny little petite things. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I don't believe in height difference. None of my love interests are tall, and none of my main characters are teeny tiny.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Okay, next up, The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood.
It was a lit it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We technically haven't recorded the episode for that yet, so I cannot say what my response is. But it will be out by the time this drops.
Personally, am an Allie Wood Hazel.
Allie Wood Hazel. Yeah, I think that is her real name.
I'm an Allie Hazelwood stan, and it all started with Bride.
Oh God,
and I just
cannot believe
Next, how about Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yaros? Oh, goodness.
That is a lit it. What did she put in that thing? That thing is drugged. I've listened. I've never done cocaine.
Put it in my veins.
I feel as though this is what it feels like to do cocaine as
I also felt that way. I was like, oh my God, I want to know more. And like the book was over.
Yeah. It was definitely entertaining. I will give it that. I was thoroughly entertained.
Yeah.
I was thoroughly entertained.
I wasn't like dissecting it like literature. I was
no.
I'm here for a good time.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Another Sarah J. Maas, A Court of Mist and Fury.
Is that the second one?
That's the second one.
The second one's a lit it.
Okay. Yeah. I think we all agree on that. That's when it got, I was like, okay, you're finding your stride. I like these people.
When she threw that shoe at him, I was like, we are in. I am
this
in.
Is the one.
I'm committed now. Let's go.
Yeah.
How about the third book, A Court of Wings and Ruin?
That was acquitted.
Okay. I was like, we're on the lit train now. Let's go.
I know. Okay. I really thought I was all in, and then I can really be like that too. Sometimes I get to a third book and I'm like, I'm just ready for it to be over.
Yeah. I had the complete opposite experience. I was like, yes, it was my favorite out of all of them. I love it.
You were ramping up and I was doing a little bit of a roller coaster.
And you said you read Nesta's book.
No,
or you didn't. You only read the first three. Okay, that's right. Okay, and then our last one, Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins.
Lit it. Also,
cannot wait.
Movie. The movie. I've watched the trailer 10,000 times. I can't stop watching it. I'm like about to re-download TikTok just to see the edits because I'm all in. It was like I read that book and then I immediately went back down the rabbit hole of Hunger Games, which I had not reread since it came out, which is when I was in college. And I did the audiobooks, which is Tatiana Maslany from Orphan Black.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was amazing. She does all the voices.
Wow.
So good. And then I rewatched all the movies. I mean, I was like deep in the rabbit hole.
Deep dive.
I was like sending 4 or 5 minute long voice notes to my friends and they were like, please go lay down.
Or they were like, just start a podcast.
Yeah, honestly.
Hunger Games lore.
Hang out with Amanda and Kelsey.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So much fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We are so very excited for folks to get their hands on the Room In Arrangement, which drops tomorrow, January 27th, 2026. So where can folks find you, Sam? Like can they connect with you? Socials, website? Let us know.
Instagram is probably the best. It's sam.markum because unfortunately Sam Markum was already taken. I guess there's many of us out there. So sam.markum. I'm sam.markum on Threads, but I'm not doing much on there.
Okay.
There's not much going on there. Not many thoughts. Yeah. Instagram is probably the best, or my website, which is samanthamarkum.com. Full name for the website, of course, samanthamarkum.com.
And can they order your book directly from your website, or?
There are some buy links on my website, but they all go to different. I've got Bookshop. I've got my local indie, The Novel Neighbor. You can always order from them. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, it has been such a blast hanging out with you this evening, getting to know more about you and your process and your characters and your stories and talking about Stranger Things.
Of course.
But of course, we really appreciate it. And as a reminder, Kelsey, do you want to direct folks to our socials one more time?
Yes. So please go check us out on Instagram at livevibesonly_podcast. And we're also on TikTok and YouTube at Live Vibes Only Podcast. And of course, you can always email us if you have questions or want to reach out. Samantha and her team reached out via email to give us these arcs. And we were like, hey, do you want to come on our podcast?
Come hang out with us.
And that's how all of this happened. So you just never know.
Magical things happen over email.
Of course, take the time right now to go rate and review our podcast either on Apple or Spotify. We really appreciate it and appreciate the love.
Yes, awesome. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and we'll see you next Monday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.